Alright, friends, today we are on a bit of a somber journey, but one that I am well acquainted with as we are off to Green Lake so that I can honor my aunt and also more so my rest of my family, my mom and my uncle. But my auntie passed away on March 22nd when I was 28 years old. She had fought breast cancer for 12 years and she fought very gracefully and beautifully, and she was the CEO of her own company, and she raised me and my sister after we lost her sister, who was my adoptive mom, who had ovarian cancer and passed away when I was 13. And overall, sadly, their family was pretty cancer-ridden, but we're off to Green Lake as it's a place that holds a lot of good memories for me and my family. As a kid, my mom would take us every Sunday to walk around Green Lake, which is a man-made lake in the kind of northern side of the Seattle area. But she would take us every Sunday to walk around Green Lake, which I can't remember how far it is around the lake, but it's a very good walking path and running path. And right here, I'm gonna get some flowers from PCC because I would like to let go of some flowers in the Green Lake. It's what I've done every year since I moved back to Washington. My auntie passed away in 2017, so this makes 9 years of doing this kind of tradition. And I also decided that I should probably get a snack, so I like PCC for their cut up fruit, which can be a little pricey, but it's always ripe and really delicious. So decided on the pineapple because it's a little cheaper. And then probably need a beverage, so gonna snag something here. And then I checked out the hot food, but there was nothing really there. And I decided it was still kind of early, like 11 a.m. So I checked out the bakery area and just was intrigued by some of the cakes and sweets that they had, but was looking for their pastry counter, and I discovered it and decided that we should get a few pastries. And then I left, and I was happy to see some of the old restaurants I know, like Rosita's, my first hosting job. And then I also saw this spot, which when I was a kid, it was a cafe, and that's where my aunt would take us for brunch, my mom and my aunt. And then I was also just intrigued because a lot of the restaurants over here also seem to be for sale or in building process. So then we walked over to Green Lake, and I just kind of was checking it out because it's been a while since I've been over here, and I ended up at this arch that I didn't realize each bench has a different person's name. So I then decided that I wanted to check that out. So I was here to honor my aunt and decided that I would also honor each of these beautiful people who also seemed to love and enjoy Green Lake as much as my family did. Spent a fair amount of time around the arch, just as I said, checking out each bench and honoring each person with a flower, since I like to let go of the flowers in the water for my aunt. So I just picked a few from the bouquet and just read each message that each person's family left for them, which I thought were all really beautiful messages and ways of honoring grief. And then I thought it was cool to see some artists in the wild painting the cherry blossoms, and also just enjoying all of the life and action that was happening around the lake, and kind of the, not contradiction, but just the balance of that I'm here to honor and celebrate the death of my parent and my family, but also reminded of all of the life and everything that is going on constantly around us, and to be present and to just enjoy the time that we are here. And again, I really liked all of these different plaques, and I did my best to stop at as many of them as I could as I walked to the very particular part of Green Lake, which is where I go to honor my aunt. I felt like all of the different messages that I was seeing, again, were all very beautiful and meaningful. And I also started to think about the possibility of trying to maybe get a park bench or a spot in Green Lake for my aunt and my family, because not only did I also lose my mom, they had a brother who also died on March 5th. So March, again, is a bit of a somber month for your girl, but I do start it on a high, as my birthday is the 1st. And here I spot the part of Green Lake that I like. I think it used to be an old school building, I'm not sure, but there's a parking lot behind it, and it's where my family would always park and start our walks around Green Lake. So no matter where I am in Green Lake, I usually end up walking over to this part of the park to sit and enjoy the views. And this is the area where I like to release the flowers. And there's these stairs, and you can kind of get close up to the water. And sometimes I'll bring seeds, and I like to feed the birds. But here I am finding my spot. I decided I would sit and wait and enjoy a little bit of a snack, as well as I just kind of, was taking in Green Lake and enjoying the day and what I was here to do, and also just trying to make sure I had time because I had to go to work. And I did decide to get this Danish, and I just wanted to share this with you guys because I thought it was really pretty. And that's why I bought it. But then this is why I don't like Danishes. It's not enough filling. It's way more pastry. And I like croissants, and it's not as buttery and flaky as a croissant. But I digress from what we're here to do. So next up, we're gonna snag the flowers that I bought, and I always buy flowers. I liked that this one had a yellow rose, which is friendship. Also a lot of orange, which was one of my aunt's favorite colors. So I like to pick the flowers apart so that they're kind of easier to toss into the water. She was a big fan of Gerber daisies, so I was happy to see these in the bouquet. And as stated, I just like to kind of take them apart. The rose I will break into actually using the petals, because that'll just look nicer and just makes me feel better. So yeah, that's what I do first, and I did make one or two of these piles so that I could throw them into the water, and then I did this very, beautifully. I think of my aunt and my mom and just the life that they provided for me, and how much I miss them, and how much I wish I could talk to them, and all the things that I could tell them. But I also think of all the things that have happened, like, Donald Trump's our president, and man, that would piss my aunt off. But yeah, she doesn't have to be here to see that. So there are pros and cons. And it has been 9 years, and I can say that with time, the grief, you really do learn how to just kind of carry it with you. I still get sad, and I still cry. That's why I come here to talk to the sky and just reminisce, and also be reminded that I need to keep living and doing things and enjoying life, and that even if they're not here, I'm here to do a lot of the things that they can't, and I know that they want me to have a joyous life. So that's what I take from doing this, and I've done this for the 9 years that I've been back in Seattle. And anybody out there dealing with your own grief journey, it comes in waves. It's a roller coaster. You'll have good days and you'll have bad days, and it's okay. All of the above. Cry it out. Find ways to remember them and their impact on your life, and the warmth of the life that they provided for you, and that, we only have one life, so we're all here to make the most of it. And I hope that you're making the most of your one life.